24 PhD, 27 you were a millionaire. How did you do that?
I got really lucky. I came here to do my PhD after I graduated from IIT Bombay in India and then came here for grad. And then just like within a few weeks, I was like attending all these talks about AI and I got like, so by 2029, AI is going to be smarter than humans. So it'll be able to do all that.
Not many people naturally incline towards astrophysics or gravitational waves. So talk to us about that.
So I was part of this team called LIGO. So there are like hundreds of people working together for like 30 years trying to detect these gravitational waves coming out of these like black holes and neutron stars when they collide and merge.
So talk to us about TwinMind. You're really proud of this product.
So it's been 2 years since we started the company. Now my TwinMind has listened to me for 2 years. So it knows like everything I've ever said to anybody, friends, family, my parents, all the stories they told me. It really feels like a...
And if you were to put a weightage to some of the qualities in an entrepreneurial journey,
I think you need to, for like a founder, like maybe if you're like the CEO or like the founder, you have to like have very...
Hi Daniel, how are you?
Hi.
What's up?
Good.
What's
Good, nice to meet
happening
you.
in Silicon Valley?
It's a great day. It's beautiful out here. It's been a little cold for the last couple of months, but now spring is starting and it's great. So this is a house where like my co-founders and all live, and like we all work from here. And my wife and I live in this cottage
So
in the back.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
we
on
have like a...
the Sand Hill Road, right?
Yeah, it's right next to Sand Hill Road. Stanford is like 5 minutes from here.
That's where
It
all
came
the
with
big companies have grown from there. YouTube, a couple of blocks away from this place, right?
Yeah, I was just looking at a picture of like all the companies within a 20-minute radius. And
Hmm?
apparently there's like, you know, let me just see. I actually just took this picture, yes, right, like just a few minutes ago. Almost like every company is
Yeah.
like within like a 20-minute radius. Can you see the picture, all the logos?
Wow. Incredible. You're at the right place, right time.
Yeah, yeah. It's exciting to be here.
So, Daniel, welcome to Gold Media. So excited to talk to you today. I think you are living the dream, right? At 24 PhD, 27 you were a millionaire, a proud founder of TwinMind. How did you do that?
So yeah, so I got really lucky. I came here to do my PhD after I graduated from IIT Bombay in India and then came here for grad school. And then just like within a few weeks, I was like attending all these talks about AI and I got like excited. This was 2015. And I was like, I started in astrophysics for like the PhD, but then I was like, I want to work on AI. My first week of my grad school, I was like convinced that AI is gonna change the world. So, this was 2015. So by 2029, AI is gonna be smarter than humans. So it'll be able to do all the astrophysics. So it's like the best way to do astrophysics is not to do astrophysics today. It's to build AI. Like you build one Einstein in a computer, and then by 2029, that Einstein, you can make millions of copies of that Einstein and have it do all the astrophysics. So I was like, we should be working on AI. And there's no rush to do astrophysics immediately. We should be
Right.
building AI
And
that...
quite an unconventional topic, right? Not many people naturally incline towards astrophysics or gravitational waves. So talk to us about that and also about the whole Nobel Prize contribution that your team had.
So I was part of this team called LIGO. So they are like hundreds of people working together for like 30 years trying to detect these gravitational waves coming out of these like black holes and neutron stars when they collide and merge. So you can detect it from billions of light years away. So billions of years ago, something happened and you're seeing the ripples in space time right now. So they built this detector called LIGO that's like 4 kilometers long. And for 30 years they hadn't detected anything. So I started my PhD in 2015, and about a year like later, just later that year, a few months later, they detected the first black hole merger. So I had just started working on this project, and so I got really lucky that I was part of it. And so they detected black hole mergers with this detector, and my contribution was to like replace the signal processing, which was using traditional methods like match filtering and things like that, with completely with AI. So you could now use deep learning with convolutional neural networks to detect those signals much better with a higher accuracy, even in noisier conditions. So then I was able to publish a few papers really fast about applying AI to astrophysics, and that's how I was able to graduate in a record time. So when I was
9 years
24, I had
time,
finished
right?
yeah.
Wow. That's so impressive.
It was combining the hottest topic in astrophysics with the hottest topic in computer science. I was able to combine the two and like have a lot of impact.
That's so incredible. So you've worked with some of the prestigious companies like Google X, JP Morgan, and you also automated your VP job that allowed you to literally travel the world. Tell us about that story because our audience are going to be intrigued by that.
Yeah, so I was in my so I left Google X. So I was working at Google X, and like then my co-founder and I went to JP Morgan. So we were building AI for trading in like bonds and stocks and commodities and everything. So that was we were part of this like applied AI team. So I was leading a bunch of these projects. And we had this idea, ChatGPT had just come out, and my co-founder and I were like, why not just ChatGPT is just like you have to type everything into this text field and then it'll output something in text. We
Yeah.
wanted to have something more like Jarvis from Iron Man, something that would just listen to us and like understand everything that's happening and then help you even before you ask. So we built this demo that would listen to our meetings
Yeah.
and then show you exactly what to say to be smarter. So you'll feel like the smartest person in the room and nobody else even knows, it's telling you, say this, say that, right? This is the answer to the question somebody just asked, or so it'll show that live, and at the end of the meeting, it'll use all of the things that happen in the meeting to write all your code for you. So it will generate all your code based on whatever you discussed in the meeting with your manager or other team members or the client. So it'll have all that context and it'll generate all the code or assignments or reports or whatever we need. So we built this demo and all our friends wanted it. So we gave it to like, dozens of friends and they all liked it. Then we posted about it on Reddit and a bunch of forums on the internet. So then 2,000 people signed up for the wait list. This was in 2023, late
Wow.
2023. So we were like, this is like a real company. A lot of people wanted, they're willing to pay. Like 68% of people that we asked who had signed up were like, we'll pay like $20 a month or something for this. So
Right.
I quit my job. We actually applied to Y Combinator with this idea. So we made it through the first stage and we got to the final interview stage. And then like they were like, oh, you guys are too early, because my co-founders had not even quit their job yet. My two co-founders, they were both from Google X and I'd worked with them at JP Morgan. So they're still working. So, and then Y Combinator was, you're too early, you should apply again in the next cycle or something. So we got rejected the first time, but then by the next cycle we had already raised like 2 million, 1 point something million dollars. So it ended up being a good thing. We raised at a higher valuation than Y Combinator.
That is so impressive. So talk to us about TwinMind. You're really proud of this product and your entire team is focusing on the development of this product, and the app is doing really good, more than 100,000 users. So what's your vision? What it took for you and your team to build this product? And you have a very impressive seed funding of almost $5.5 million, and the company valuation is more than $60 million now. So just talk to us about what's your vision and what it takes to build such a massive product.
So we just raised a little bit more. So we have like over $8 million now. So that we have raised.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yeah, so with TwinMind, we just also crossed like like over 100,000 users like a couple months ago. We've all monthly active users. We got over 400,000 downloads or something like 350,000 downloads. So we have users in 180 countries now. So it's been 2 years since we started the company. We just had our anniversary like a couple days ago.
Congratulations.
Thanks. We've grown to 15 people now, mostly in the US, few people in India, a couple of them in Europe, and so yeah. So we've been doing pretty well. Now my TwinMind has listened to me for 2 years, so it knows like everything I've ever said to anybody. My friends, family, my parents, all the stories they told me. And my wife, like everybody is like, so it knows everything I've heard and also seen on my computer and all the emails and calendar, and it runs in my pocket all day. So it has so much context about me. It actually feels like a second brain. It's the extension of my mind. And we have like thousands of users like this who have been running it for like 6-7 months. So it feels like your AI clone. So you can get it to do whatever. So our latest feature is now it writes all my emails for me. So I wake up and all my emails are written, and I just have to hit send. So TwinMind knows
how accurate are those? Like, do you have to really review those, or you can 99.9% trust it?
It is. I have to review it maybe every now and then, edit a little bit, but most of the time it gets it right because it already has read every email I've ever sent, everything I've ever told verbally to people. So it kind of knows how I think, how I speak, the style, and everything.
Right.
Uh,
And talking about the VC funding, what was your strategy to pitch these VCs to get this type of seed funding? Because a lot of companies and startup founders struggle with securing this type of funding.
So I think we got lucky because we had like a lot of connections. We had we had this Google X credentials, and all of us had PhDs and published papers with like thousands of citations, and so and we also like met a lot of people through our like IIT Bombay connections. We have a few people from IIT Bombay, including investors and also other employees. So it was easier to recruit as well. And yeah, so I think just having a good network, having some good communities like this IIT Bombay network, ex Google network. There's like a whole community of ex Google people who help each other out, and they even invested in us. This ex Google Avengers. So yeah, it's as long as you have a good reputation and you have like some credentials and experience, and you each the getting that first investor is the hardest, but then once you have that first investment, then everybody else wants to invest, and their friends also, they'll make intros, and the intros count because they're like, I've already invested in the company. So when someone says, I've already invested in that company and you should take a look at them, people will take it seriously. So getting that first check was hard. I think I had to talk to like 30-40 people to get before I got that first investment. But then
Yeah.
after that it became easy. And we also put our money where our mouth is, right? We all three co-founders put in like at least $50,000 each in the company before anybody else.
Wow.
And also I'm taking zero salary. So I haven't taken a single dollar in salary since the last couple of years. Like everybody else is also taking pretty low cash. They all opted for more equity. So
Yeah.
that also makes investors think we're not just doing it for the money, right? We're just doing it because we really believe in the mission.
Right. Absolutely. And what's your strategy to improve this whole app download and increasing the user base? Do you have a dedicated marketing team that works on just this strategy and execution?
Yeah, so we just hired like a head of growth in India who had previously grown a company to millions of users. And he was at a YC company, and the way we met him was really cool too. He's also an IIT Delhi graduate, and he was actually a super user of TwinMind. He had captured hundreds of hours, and somehow we saw that in this one company, like so many people started using TwinMind, and all of a
Right.
sudden, finally, he was like teaching everybody to use TwinMind. He was telling everyone about how cool it is, and physically teaching each person, doing classes, and like getting that whole company to use TwinMind. And he also was managing like some 10%, 20% team as well, a marketing team at that company. It's like a YC startup. So we had a user interview with him, and he was telling us how much he loves TwinMind and everything, and he got really excited, so he started consulting with us. He wanted to help us out, and then later he then transitioned and joined us full time. So that's like a great recruiting. We didn't even have to apply through any job posting. We just meet people who use TwinMind.
I think
And
your product spoke for itself,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, I mean, that's how we hired a few others as well. They just first loved TwinMind and posted about it somewhere on social media or something, and we saw, wow, this guy's like really cool, and then we start like just consulting with them for advice, and then if they ends up being a mutual fit, they'll join us.
Absolutely. And Daniel, how does the security features work, especially considering this particular app has access to anybody 100%? Like this app knows what I am doing, what I'm thinking, what kind of emails I'm getting, what kind of social circle I am in, and everything about my life. So how do I make sure that the security breach is not happening?
Yeah, so we built this from the ground up to be maximally private because we know people will only use it if it's like we are the most trusted, most private, like AI, like note taking, or AI, like listening kind of app. So
Mhm.
we build it so that by default, audio is never saved. Like the audio is deleted every few seconds. So your audio, like what you actually said, is deleted except the text. So we transcribe the audio to text and we save the text, and you get to choose whether to save it on your own device or you want to back it up on the cloud. So then you get like it syncs across devices. So we give it for each thing that you capture, like each like session that you capture, like any summary, transcript, all of this, you can choose each one whether to save it or not save it to the cloud. So if you don't save it, then it's like a very confidential, sensitive project. It only stays on your phone. But then the risk is if you lose your phone, you lose it, right? Because you
Mhm.
break your phone. So
And as founders, do you have access to any of your user data?
So we don't have access to any of the user data if they put it on this like confidential mode and nothing is saved. So then it's only on your phone. So nobody can see it, like not even us or
Okay.
anybody. And if you choose to save it, it's encrypted and it's like, the best encryption right now. And it's like stored on like the cloud and also on your Apple cloud. So like people trust Apple to like also store it for them. And
Right.
Apple is like, even with FBI warrants and everything, Apple has never turned over any user data, right? On iCloud. So, and then on top of that, we also are like audited by like third party companies like Vanta, like going through the SOC 2 compliance audit. So this third party companies audited. We are not looking at user data. We are not able to access all of that. So we are like also like we also have HIPAA compliance now. So
Okay.
we have about 13% of our users are doctors. They use it to capture patient, like doctor patient notes, even nurses as well. So that's a and they're also like the sensitive data, right, about like patient client. So that's why we wanted to get this HIPAA compliance.
That's amazing. So Daniel, tell me one thing. There are so many AI companies literally coming, launching every day with new products. And AI is definitely, I would say, delivering. It's not the future, it is present. We are seeing the results. What advice would you like to give to these new startup founders so that they are successful in their AI journey?
To startup founders, I mean, I think one of the mistakes we made from the beginning was we just like built things too fast with a lot of AI. So now, like, we realize that we need people with a lot of experience who like actually like do a proper system design and like design everything manually and like review everything that AI has written. So it's better to AI lets you move really fast now, but I think it's better to like take it slow and actually like build slowly,
Yeah.
right? Because you can like it's like having a rocket ship or something, and like it's too power, like you can move really fast, but then it might not go in the right direction, or like it'll crash and burn later when you get too much like technical debt and too many bugs and there's a lot of repetitive code. So it's better to like build slow, right? It's even if you can read really fast, it's sometimes better to read it slowly so you like actually understand it. Same thing with like coding. It's better to code a little slower than you can if you want to build something that lasts a long time. If you just want to build like a quick demo or like only like 100 people are
Minimal
using it,
viable product or something,
yeah,
then you
it
can
doesn't
rush,
matter.
but you can't rush into things without having a proper planning and the design in place.
Yeah, you can like build a quick demo, but then it's better to rebuild everything properly because if right now we have like over 100,000 people using it every month. So that's why it is like really important that this app is scaling and there's not enough, there's very little bugs, and it's like it's very important. Once you scale, you'll start finding all these issues.
Right. And if you were to put a weightage to some of the qualities in an entrepreneurial journey, is it deep technical expertise? Is it business acumen? Or is it a combination of everything that makes a company successful?
I think you need to have for like a founder, like maybe if you're like the CEO or like the founder, you have to like have very like you have to do a lot of different things that so you have to keep learning in completely different areas, right? So you need to understand finance, like you have to manage all this money, allocate all this money. You have to like know a little bit about all the legal stuff. Right now with Claude and ChatGPT, you can learn really fast.
Mhm.
And they're like pretty good as lawyers too. So it's like but you have to understand legal stuff, financial stuff, hiring, giving presentations, fundraising, right? You have to learn how to like set up your office and like marketing and design, how the UI UX. So like you should have like a breadth of knowledge in every area, and it's fun. Like every day you get to learn something new, and so you if that's like but for like if you're like the CTO or like like the tech head of engineering, then you can focus on that. But I think for the CEO, you have to like be able to do a lot of different things.
You have to have all the attributes taken care of.
Yeah, you have to at least have a breadth of knowledge and like the ability to go deep into some one area if needed, and so learning fast.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Daniel, for your time today. Really appreciate you sharing insightful entrepreneurial journey and giving us all the details. Wish you good luck with TwinMind.
Thank you so much. Yeah, great to meet you too, and thanks for the interview. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.